Hi, my name is Dan Clark, and I spent 40 years of my life being a Jehovah's Witness, and at age 40 I left, and I have been out now for around 12 years. And today I want to talk about my successful journey after leaving the Jehovah's Witnesses and some of the things that happened to me, just as a way of encouraging anyone out there that's thinking about leaving and wondering what life is on the outside. I just want to share with you that when I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, I heard a talk, and it was in a kind of a spiritual group. It was talking about Christ and about God, and I heard this talk that was really inspirational, and it said, it was Jesus, and it was quoting from Jesus, and he said, Jesus said, I've come so that you could have life and have it in abundance. And I thought, Jesus has come so we could have life and have it in abundance? This was totally contrary to my teachings. My teachings was that I was a good-for-nothing slave, and what I was doing I ought to be doing. The scripture in Zechariah, I believe, or Zephaniah, where it said, seek righteousness, seek meekness, and you might be concealed in the day of Jehovah's anger. There was no guarantee of my salvation in Jehovah's organization. It was, you better make those 5 meetings a week, you better comment at the Watchtower, you better be going door to door, you better be getting the congregation average of 12 to 14 hours a month, or we'll take your privileges. It was a never-ending, your talks were graded, whether they were good, medium, or not good. And it was always on a gradient system. It was always, am I doing good enough? Did I comment good enough? How was I at the door? How did I do at the door? And this went on. This was your whole routine. All feeling like you were dirty, feeling like you were a sinner, feeling like you couldn't do enough. I never felt like I could do enough. Until I heard that lecture that day, it said, you were made in God's image and likeness. I was like, I was made in God's image and likeness? And we, you and me, are supposed to be the light of the world? And we're not supposed to hide our light under a measuring basket? I didn't know what light that was, because I was a good-for-nothing slave. And anyway, I started to sort of buy in that, I was an idea in the mind of God before I came to earth. I was this idea that God had in mind, and that I was to unfold and become this beautiful person. And Jesus said that he came as a catalyst so that that would happen, so that I would evolve, and he came that I would have life and have it in abundance, and that I would do greater things, he said, than he did. Well, what happened was I actually started to believe that. I started to believe maybe I was a person that God loved and hoped and wished the best for. And anyway, I have to tell you, within a year of being out, I didn't even know it, but my wife bought me an art set and I started painting. I didn't know that I could paint. I never even thought about it. It was the farthest thing from mine. So here was my very first painting. And I know you experts out there can find all the faults in it and see the things that are wrong with it, but that was my very first painting. This was another one. That's Hanging Lakes up in Colorado. This was a Hubble telescope shot. I think this was like my 4th painting. And this was like my 5th painting. And I had no idea that these gifts resided in me. I became an author. I wrote a book called Eyewitness, The Shocking Insider Story of Jehovah's Witnesses. I did some tapes called Grace by Miracles, Prospering in a Time of Uncertainty. And I didn't realize it, but I was also an author and a lecturer. And I was also a business owner that I didn't know. And I didn't know that I could find a very wonderful wife that wasn't dysfunctional, but that was healthy and whole. And I've just been blessed. I truly do live a life, as Jesus said, a life more fully. And I think that's how it's to be. And the reason I showed you these things, and the reason I'm talking about these things, is you may not know that you have all this magnificence inside of you that wants to come out, that wants to unfold. That God said that would be a light in the world. You're a unique aspect, a unique idea that God had in mind when he created you. Not a throwaway, not a person waiting for a world to end. The world will end when the world ends. But we're to be a light. God told us the 2 greatest commandments was love God with all our heart, mind, and soul, and love our neighbor as ourselves. So you get to take all of this stuff, all of these things that are a part of you, this uniqueness that you have, your gifts, your talents, and you get to share them with the world. The world needs those, and we need them. And so we all work together for the betterment of the world, as what Jesus did. So anyway, I just wanted to share that story with you. That's my story. That's a year after leaving Jehovah's Witnesses. I had a successful business. I became an author. I became a writer and a painter, and just so many. I just wonder what's next to evolve. And I wonder what's next for you. What's buried underneath all that shame and fear and guilt and anxiety about this world and about when the end's coming, and all of our focus being just narrowly focused on this time period. I just wonder what the world would be if they had you in it, you fully invested in it and contributing to it. As Jesus said, letting your light shine so that all men may know and come to know God. That's it. Thanks.